There's a lot of defense being talked at this presser. Max also said some things to clear up some notions in the Raider Nation. Welcome to Bart. Next stop, defensive street.
Just win, baby.
You know what time it is? It's that time of the afternoon. It's your boy Black, quarterback, and I'm here with my nigga for Shizzle. Pizzo, Denzel Washington. What's up with you, bro?
How you doing, man? How you doing?
Good, good. Really excited. We had a presser today. Was defensive driven. We got to hear from our Coach Robbie. I know that's a guy that you really, really have your eye on, and he's coming out to speak about what's going on with the defense, maybe help clear up some things. We also heard from Max. Max talked about his situation in the off season, his mindset, and how camp is going for him and the team, and what's expected of him. And he's gonna finally, well, not finally, I think he's always addressed this, but he's gonna reiterate many times over in this presser how he feels about being a Raider. So maybe we can all move on from the Ravens situation and look forward to the new season. There's nothing worry. He's not worried about the past, and you can't dictate. You can't change the future. You can only affect right now. So let's see how you feel about Coach Robbie. What's up with Bruce Willis? What's up with Raider Twine? If you want to jump on, Twine is good. Let me know. So let's get to the presser, see what the guy's saying, and see what we have to look forward to this year.
I just question him because he hasn't done it before, and I question Patrick Graham in this cover three scheme that he was running. But we'll see. Maybe he's got a little. Maybe he could wow your boy. I'm not. I gotta see it.
And a couple of different guys are taking the time teaching some things. How much does it help you the way these veterans have bought into this new staff and new jobs for people?
Always, say all the time, I've learned the most from players, and when they take control of that, like that's where the details get taught, what things look like in reality, outside of a playbook, and that's what you want to see. I mean, it makes you feel good, to be honest with you.
You're walking around, guiding players. What's the biggest noticeable change you've had to make from going from defensive line coach to now overseeing the whole operation?
Feeling like not having anywhere to go during individual has been different. I feel like I should be bouncing around, but that's just my personality. But I love it. Like I love going with the DBs. I go with the D-line during special teams, just making sure everybody's on the same page. I love hearing like the coach's coach, and and if you hear something different, you're like, okay, well, we got the safeties and linebackers on the same page on this, and just observing and jumping in when needed. I'm a higher energy guy out there, as you can tell. Just, I need to run routes, and I want the coaches coaching, you know what I mean? So I like to hear them. It makes me feel confident that we're on the same page when we're all talking the same.
What was it like for you to go through the process?
Back here? I got you.
The process that you did to be able to step into this role and to really come into it as with this organization.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, what was it like, the process for you coming up through as a defensive line coach and then to the defensive coordinator role? What's that process been like for you, and what has that meant to you to do it with this organization?
It's been a lot of fun. It's humbling. It's a lot of fun from a standpoint of, I've been through a lot of rebuilds, and from the off season to the OTAs to training camp and season, of saying, hey, this is the way I would do it. Like just taking notes of it and doing those things and having great input from guys like Joe Woods and Al Holcomb and building something from the ground up, installing a defense. I tell the defense all the time, we're not playing our offense. We're getting ready to play an 18-game season. So keeping that in mind as we build this thing has been a lot of fun.
Okay, one thing that's very important that he said to me, and I want to know how you feel about it, is he said he's been part of a lot of rebuilds. So that is something that he can, hang his hat on, is we might not necessarily be we might be in a total rebuild, especially if we were replacing everybody. So, but it doesn't feel like a rebuild because of how fast we've been moving and how decisive we are about the decisions we have made. What do you feel about? How do you feel about him and his background and his ability to help turn his team around? Since there is questions that he is a first-time defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a lot of experience. He's been around the league, with quite a few teams. This isn't his first stint. I think he was with the Giants and then Pittsburgh and somewhere else. And he's and
New York.
then
Yeah, you said the Giants.
and then so I think that he's like he said, he's been around these rebuilds before. It's not like it's a secret that that's what we're doing, right? I mean, we obviously have to tear it all down. This isn't the squad that he wants, so it makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. How do you not expect it to be a rebuild? I mean, that's what they've been saying this whole time. So
Yeah, it's a rebuild, but we do have let's try to
pillars.
win. Let's try to win now mentality a little bit. It's not like we're overlooking this season as like a red shirt season for everyone, and then we try to get to it or start having expectations next season. We do have those expectations this year, but being that he's coming in and part of a restructure, I think the learning curve is a little bit easier for him to manage going from that first time, from being a D-line coach to a first time defensive coordinator and calling plays. And the important part is that the defense takes on the personality of the coach and how fast that happens and how fast everyone buys in. And I think that's part of the reason why they brought him back in, because the players are already linked in with him, and it'll be easier to build camaraderie, cohesion, and commitment. So
No, we ain't tanking this year, Anthony Provencio. That's pretty funny though. I don't think we're taking this year. We didn't go out and get Leonard and all these other guys to tank.
yeah, I heard that, and that made me kind of irritated because like we're tanking in the OTAs already. Like that's absurd.
Coach, what's the vision for the defense? How do you put your thumbprint on
Wayne.
this?
Style of play, man. I'm
So-
going to coach the defense like I coach the D-line. I still do the same things I did. Not going 1 for 1, attacking the ball, effort and pursuit. Like we start there, but that's always got to stick out. You know what I mean? And a product on the field that what it looks like. Clint always talks about our silent tape. I always feel like if my wife can point it out, like, hey, that's a good job. Everybody knows what it should look like. But today the theme was clean operation, great substitution, great communication, aligned with the speed breaks, like all those little things outside of the scheme are how things come to life. And that's been fun to see.
Yeah, that's something I've been trying to reiterate to the nation is let's not be hypercritical about what we're seeing on the field right now in OTAs. Like in the sense of, oh, that pass looks good, or he looks fluid in his technique, or that looks like he's got a stronger arm, or those kind of things, because this is about implementation. It's about getting the foundation together. Like if you're already trying to choose the curtains in the house and what size TV you're gonna put on the wall, and you don't even have the foundation together yet, doesn't matter if you do all those things. If the foundation isn't together, it's not gonna last long. And what we're building here is a culture and something that's supposed to last for a while. We're grooming our quarterback. That they went out and did that ahead of time. and then brought in our franchise quarterback. And if people want to have him for 10 years or what plus, then we have to set it up correctly. And so that's what he's saying right there is that they're trying to learn, practice getting out of the huddle, get substitutions, play calls, communication. It's not necessarily about the play itself because they're going to have plenty of time to go over and over the play and execution of plays in the playbook. But it's how do you do the little things? Championships are won in doing the little things, the little details that people don't pay attention to, or they pay attention to and don't really care about because they're thinking about, can I make this play work and how do I make this play work? Well, the way you make the play work is have all the players on the same pace, in the same frame of mind, with the same why. Why are we doing this? Not are we doing it, it's why are we doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Was it having coached with Maxx before now, you have that familiarity with him?
Yeah.
So if he's not out there, you can still really work together with him.
Yeah, I mean, probably the biggest reason I came here was an opportunity to coach him. So to help. I mean, it's awesome to help him towards some of his goals as well as the defense in this organization. I just think of how much he's given to and sacrificed to this place to help make something that we're all proud of would be really cool.
How involved has he been able to be kind of while he's in this rehab and recovery process?
Oh, Maxx, I mean, if he could be, he's doing everything he can but practice. So meetings, attending walkthroughs, he's out there stretching. He's fully involved.
Sometimes coaching is an
What do you think about that, bro, about Maxx doing everything but practicing?
What up, Twan? How you doing?
What's good, fam?
What's
Simple
going
day.
on? I'm not surprised. Maxx is pretty much always ready to play. He stays ready, so he don't have to get ready. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I'll tip my hat to Maxx about is he is about his work game. He's always working, so I'll give him that.
Yeah, that's the one thing that you hammer a lot of times about players. What are they doing in the off season? You say, hey, you guys should be trying to elevate your game, and you guys should be getting better shape, and things like that. So with a person like a Maxx Crosby that does that week in, week out, injured, not injured, playing good, not playing good, nation wanting to get traded, him wanting to stay, him wanting to leave, then the nation wanting him to stay. But through all that, he's been the consistent person in that facility since day one. And people, I guess, don't really appreciate those little things. But like I said, those little things are what set the tone for the framework of championship mindset. Because you can't win a championship unless you have a championship mindset, unless you just lose it, unless you just win it on accident. And I don't see too many teams winning Super Bowls on accident. It's very intentional. Did you hear the clip, Twan?
No.
Well, Coach Robbie, they asked him about Maxx, and he essentially said that, Maxx is going to do everything that he can. He's showing up for everything but practice. Any thoughts?
So pretty much it sounds like he's still rehabbing.
Yes, I would say yeah. Sound like he's rehabbing.
Yep.
Because if he wasn't rehabbing, then he would be out there at practice. You know what I'm saying? Like if things were, you know what I'm saying, if his body was somewhere even close to, ready to go, he would be out there practicing. Or they would deem him as limited. You know what I'm saying? Because they do that too.
He is deemed limited, really. he's not practicing, so he's limited in his practice. But is that something that you want to do? Is it something that's necessary for a guy that you know is going to come into camp as much in the best shape as he can?
To an extent, yes, but to an extent, no. You want to have him test that leg out now, because you don't want it to be a situation, and I'm knocking on wood early, but you don't want it to be a situation where he gets into week 1 and he's not really there. So they need to see, okay, this is what you can do. This is the limitation. Similar to what they're doing with McCoy. They're monitoring his mileage. They're monitoring, all of that. So that's the same situation that they need to be doing with Maxx.
OTAs
already.
OTAs isn't really about performance. It's about getting in shape for camp and installation. And so I think that me personally, for one, I trust the coaching staff as far as when it comes to when they should put these players on the field, because they will have a better idea than any of us, right? And you can't necessarily guarantee something, but you can do preventative measures. And I think they're doing that. I just think that that's what this is. We don't need him to go on out there at 100 miles an hour, because if he do get hurt, then some of us will say, well, that's what the coaches are there to stop the player from themselves. And I think this is the situation. They're stopping a player from himself, because he will go out there and try to test it. He will go out there and go full throttle, because apparently that's what he does. So I don't really have an issue with it. Now, if we were in training camp and everybody else is playing full speed and he's not, then I'll have the sentiment that you have. On P over there quiet. Well, not my bad. Pizzelle.
Yeah, I just I mean, both of those. Both of those sides of the coin are true right there. I mean, you can't have them be going out there on OTAs and going 100% for nothing. You don't just take your thoroughbred out and just run them a full board just to run them full board.
Yeah, but we're gonna see though, because when we listen to Maxx later, then we'll probably get a clearer sense of where he is. Because I'm not rejecting what you're saying, Twine, because I was looking for that, and I did say I did feel a little bit of that. What you're saying, I'm just gonna trust on the unknown that I don't know about where he is, because the Ravens did reject the offer, and like I said, they used the back door or the trap door to get up out of there, but it might really been something in there that they seen that they had some concern. I'm not saying high level concern or anything like that, enough not to give 2 first rounds, and then enough for other teams like Dallas and them not that sent their doctor for them to say, well, you know what, he's worth a first round, 2 first rounds, or a first round and a second and a fourth, or whatever, however they would have played it. They didn't really, try to up the ante. So maybe there's something in there. It may be like they're putting him on a pitch count like McCoy, and that's where I am with it.
I'm trying to keep myself together. Because I feel like if Maxx is really supposed to be that guy, however you feel about it, somebody would have been like, well, I don't care what this person thinks, I'm going to take him anyway. So obviously, in my opinion, there obviously is something there that made everybody feel like, nah, I'm cool, just because one team said no. AJ Brown just got traded, and they were like, "Hey, we're looking past that knee." So obviously they're looking. You know what I'm saying? They look past the injury concern to make the trade. So what's so different about Maxx Crosby, who's supposed to be technically the best pass rusher in the game?
No, it's not technically the best pass rusher in the game. We know that. But he is one of the top 5, or not top 3. So and it worries me when I hear like he's supposed to be this and he's supposed to be that. He is that. Like the league recognizes him as that. So how is he our player and we don't recognize it, but the league does? But like I said, like I was saying too, it could have been something there. Like they didn't want to do all that, and you know. And we'll get to Max later because I think he's going to slow down this year. I think he's going to be open to not having to play every down or on defense. I'm thinking he's open to that.
He better.
It's going to have to be because we brought in someone else because he's supposed to go and we held on to him. So someone's going to have to share time somewhere.
He better. That's all.
You know, getting him back after what happened in the offseason and kind of helping him out just to get back on track here with the Raiders.
I was just happy he was back. Once he's back, he's back. I was excited.
I apologize.
No, you're good.
You and Clint, different but very similar in your approach to football. It's all ball. Will you just talk about that development and that relationship, please, sir?
Yeah. I didn't even know this, but just I think from the interview to as we get going aligned as I think men, he has 4 kids. I have 4 kids, from values all the way to installing a defense, like putting everything in and teaching. He's a great teacher. He's a great communicator. He loves football. You know, I wouldn't say our personalities are exactly the same, you know, but we're very much aligned in many ways. And in the longer round, the more and more I see that.
Coach, you talked about your family just being in Las Vegas. When you look over at what the Golden Knights are doing, how much does that fuel this organization?
Oh, it'd be awesome. I mean, you see the city come to life with what's going on. I think about that all the time. You see that stadium sitting right next to, you know, T-Mobile. And, I mean, that would be awesome. I mean, that'd be great. It's a great example.
Coach Robbie, say it. Just say it, Coach Robbie. Just say it. Just say it would be nice for us to bring a title to the town like everybody else. Just say it. It's not a guarantee or nothing, but just say it.
You better not say it. Because if they don't, people will be pissed off.
Who cares? See, this is the thing I don't understand. Why do people if you're a competent organization, right? Why do you care what emotional fans say? Not the ones that actually support you because they want you to win and then just go through the process like a lot of the Raider fans that's been with the Raiders for 40 and 50 years. Yeah, we've seen them win a Super Bowl, but we were kids. We were kids when that happened. We want to recapture that feeling too. So it's probably, you know, it's one of those situations. Is it better to have it and lost it or never have it at all? You know, so at the end of the day, man, we want to win a championship too. And I just want to hear him say, it'd be nice to bring a title to the town. That's not saying we're going to win a Super Bowl this year or next year or whatever. Like, but that was just me. I just wanted to hear him say it. That's all. But it sounded like he was trying to elude it, like the Spearmint Rhino in Vegas. So whatever.
He ain't gonna do that. He ain't gonna do that. He saw what happened. He saw the blueprint last year. What happened with Pete Carroll when he said we were gonna win more than 10 games?
He didn't say we was gonna win more than 10 games. But your point is very well taken, because if he said anything close to it, that's what we're gonna hear. Because Pete Carroll said he's won 10 games every year. You know what I'm saying?
For 2 decades.
Yeah, so and then we heard 10 games this year. That's what we heard, which I get it. Go ahead.
and even further, you know what I'm saying, to drill the point. Whether he said that was what he's been doing for his career, and then on top of that, he said we're gonna win a whole bunch of games.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have won a whole bunch of games if we would have sabotaged. Y'all keep forgetting we got sabotaged last year, so I guess I gotta keep reminding people we was sabotaged. We literally was sabotaged.
Yeah, by
Literally.
Pete Carroll and his son.
You can by the okay, but he didn't sabotage himself. It was by himself. It was a whole culture of stuff going on ahead in the head office that we didn't know about.
Yeah, but I go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I just feel like with Robert Leonard, he's not gonna fall on that sword. You know what I'm saying? He's a young defensive coordinator for the first time in his career. You know what I'm saying, in the NFL. So he's like, nah, I'm just gonna play this close and not jump all the way out there like that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You're right. I was gonna hold it against him because he didn't say it, but you're right. That's smart. He don't want to even mess with that at all. So I agree with you totally.
I mean, and let's just keep it a buck. All 32 teams think they're gonna win the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? That's why they play the game. You play to win. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, like, yeah, I get that aspect of it, but he's not gonna. Yeah, some things you just let go without jumping out there and putting your name and signature on it.
Yeah, because that's why she even asked the question to begin with. Because really, what does the Golden Knights have to do with the Raiders, other than a championship comparison? So yeah, I agree with you. I think he handled that professionally. Good job, Robbie. But you shouldn't have just said it.
Trying to build something from the ground up, like how you're being able to build something that you want to build here. How exciting is it that nobody really knows what you guys are going to look like when the season starts, right? You're just going to unleash this on the league, and nobody really has an idea of what to kind of look for.
It's great. It's great. I mean, it is great because, I mean, it's trying to keep an advantage, you know what I'm saying? But I'm so focused on, I want to know what they know. I want to hear them talk. I want to hear their communication, and I want a player-led defense, and them to understand conceptually right now is really what the big word is of the concept of cover two, for example, not a call, and that's how you're able to be multiple. That's how they're able to understand the strengths and weaknesses of a call, and that's really been our focus. So, like I said, in an 18-game season, when you have to evolve to injury or what type of quarterback you're playing, you're able to do so. You're teaching them the game, and we started in phase one with, this is how we get in a huddle, so, assuming nothing. And I enjoy that. I'm a teacher at heart, and all the guys I've hired, are great teachers. Ron L. Williams is a great, phenomenal linebacker coach. Matt Robinson, I already told you about Joe and Al, and then Travis Smith. They've done a phenomenal job. I told him I want the players to feel that energy when they walk into the meeting room. Get to the point, get them to the walkthrough, get to practice.
Go ahead, thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I like his approach right here. I like his approach on how he says how he's going to do things. I mean, it sounds good and all, and I hope it all pans out the way that we need it to, right? I mean, a player led defense, knowing the calls, that's all good. I mean, but every team's supposed to be doing this, so you know what I'm saying. This isn't like anything special.
Well, every team. Well, go ahead, Twan.
No, go ahead, brother.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I feel like he's trying to, navigate his way. This is his first time coaching. You know what I'm saying? Like, and coordinating. Like, this is a whole new So I think he's trying to get as much information he can get from these guys, especially from guys that weren't necessarily in his room. Remember, he was a D line coach, so was he really, you know, getting to know? I mean, they're in that same, you know, side of the ball, but now he's getting the time to get with the corners. He's getting time to get with the linebackers and float around. So he's gathering intel because he's also has to figure out, hey, this is what I have in mind. This is what I intend to do. But is it really something that I'm gonna be able to get done or get completed? So he's trying to figure out, okay, is the safeties cool with this? Is the linebackers cool with this? Is the D line on you know what I'm saying? It's coordinating. So, you know, the best thing that to do when you coordinate is to communicate. So for him to, you know, for him to get intel from these guys and have it not be necessarily a monologue, but a dialogue is the best way to go about it.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right because you might know those guys on the defensive side, but the coaches have more relationship with each other than maybe the D line coach would with like the safeties players themselves or the linebackers. You talk to them in passing and in group activities, but not get to know them intimately. So his responsibility is to understand all his players and their personalities for real, not just when things are good, but under high stress and pressure and intense study. And that's what he's going around and seeing, because in order for you to be able to create different matchups, like our defensive scheme is going to be all over the place because we're going to try to match up and be unpredictable. You have to know what pieces and what you're using and not just throwing stuff out there hoping that it happens. So I think he is gathering intel, and he's really going to just use that to his advantage.
A lot of guys, a lot of guys in the secondary can play on multiple spots on the field. How important is it to have that flexibility, which you got with those guys in the DB room?
It's always important. It's a matchup league, you know. It's a matchup league. You can't out scheme people all day, and that's really important. But at the same time, you have to be careful with progression of bringing players along. Of, you know, you think they can handle one or two spots. Well, maybe we just, you know, start them off with one spot and then with the vision to build that way, you know. So you need to know this, and then maybe down the road, you know, and that's a case by case scenario, but based on the player. But those being multiple is important.
You just talked about a player-led defense, but clearly we don't have pads on. But when you watch Quay, you see some spills in him, just his communicative skills, the way he's moving guys around. Do you see some of that early with Quay, a little bit of splaying?
Yeah, I see Quay. He's an avatar out there. You know what I mean? Like, he's a guy that looks like an outside linebacker that can play off the ball, play on the ball. He blitz. He's communicate. Yeah, he's a leader. Him and Nakobe have been great, and you can definitely feel his presence.
Rob, we spoke with a couple of your assistants yesterday, and they mentioned that one theme that you have for your defense is aggression, and that aggressiveness solves a lot of problems. Can you go into more of what you want that to look like and how you start that, you know, early in OTAs?
Yeah, I'm a little crazy. I would like them to play fast, even at the cost of a mental error. I think, you know.
What do you guys think about that statement?
I like it. And let them play fast, even past mental error. That means they're just letting their instinct go.
Yeah, I think that's a part of learning, right? You're not going to and you know, let's really think about that. You're not going to go fast if you don't know it. You know what I'm saying? If a room is completely dark, I guarantee you're not gonna run into that room. You know what I'm saying? You gonna walk in that room. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he's trying to learn is, and it goes back to what I said and what he ended up confirming was like, I need to know where these guys are. And in order for me to know where these guys are, I need for them to play fast because if they run it fast, then that means they actually know what they're doing. Because there's no way you're gonna go fast on something that you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When you first started driving your car, you didn't step on the gas, you know what I'm saying? Hella hard. You ease off that brake and let it roll a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he's trying to get from these guys is what do they know? What can I get from these guys and pull from these guys that they know for sure? And those are the things that I'm gonna have to call on these games. Or at least to know that, or at least know what I need to coach up, right?
Yeah. And aside from that, it's also just trusting your instinct, trusting your eyes. And if you make the mistake, make the mistake. So that way, when we go to film and you keep thinking this and you keep doing that, then we know we need to change your thinking about this so you don't do that. But if you tiptoeing every play or half stepping every play or a step late on this play or a step fast on this play, it's hard to coach that because you don't know if the player just tripping or he can't do it. Like, you don't know. But if you say, okay, coach, this is what I saw, so I did this, and then he'll be able to coach that up. Okay, cool. That might normally work in this situation, but when they do this, how about counter with this? So, and that's where the coaching part comes in. So it's about trusting your eyes, because when you see ball, you trust your eyes. Just go with it. Get the ball carrier, whoever, quarterback.
And when they get to the sideline, that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? On those third downs and fourth downs, the coordinators are going to their leaders or going to, the guy that messed up or whatever and saying, hey, what did you see? You know what I'm saying? Because they need to know exactly what you saw as to why you did what you did. And again, for them to move fast, they got to know, okay, this is cover 2, or this is the route that I'm supposed to be running, or I have to make this adjustment in this situation because this is what I saw. And that's where the coaches can make their adjustments, whether it was a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, factual.
I don't like to see hesitation on the field. So even if you're unsure, make a decision and go and let us coach. Let us do our job. But I don't want any slow blinkers out there. So still going into how we play box, how we attack the ball, how we run to the ball. You can't take it away if you don't run to the ball, and just staying with that mindset and instilling confidence in them that they can play that way, that they have the freedom from me. I don't care about a bust over that. That's not the difference of winning and losing to me.
You from your safeties, a lot of younger guys, how much do you rely on Jeremy Chinn and Isaiah to kind of step in and be the veterans on that?
A lot, just in terms of how they operate, as they're learning the defense too. But I mean, they're confident guys, and then Taron Johnson out there today, same thing. This kid's a pro, man. So it's no different with the question with Quiddy. Those guys leading the way. That's what needs to happen.
I feel like that was important on a couple levels, because when he was talking about Taron, what did he say? Taron? Because I don't want to say the guy's name wrong. He essentially, it could be one or two things, and both of them can be true, and one of them can just be true. And one of the things is either he is what he's saying that he is, he's a pro, right? Which I could probably believe that, because you don't stay in the league as long as he has if you're not a pro, So that could be true. And then and if he's saying all these good things about him already, in like 2 practices or a practice and a half or whatever it's been, that shows me that they've embraced him into the culture already. Now, let's see how that plays out on the business side, because Johnson, he's done his part now, because this could have been a distraction going into the training camp. It was middling to distraction now. But the cool thing about it is we kind of just noticed why he ain't showing up. We haven't seen him. Oh, it's his contract. Most of the nation understood that because it's a business side of it. And then a lot of people were like, he should be out there because that's how you build camaraderie. But the business comes first, unfortunately, a lot of times. And like I said, if he really, really want to show the Raiders that he want to be there, he'll take that risk and not bring this into the training camp. And he did just that. And I think that shows the pro that he is.
Yeah, I was one of the guys that said that he should be in camp, right? Or in OTAs right now, getting the camaraderie. And yeah, it's a good thing. I'm glad he showed up. So now we can rely on you.
Two things can be true, right? Robbie Leonard's gonna go up there and say he loves Teron, or however you call it. I'm gonna make sure I get his name right. I'm really gonna work on that. But on the flip side, Robbie Leonard doesn't sign the checks. That's on Spytech. So, Robbie can love him up and have that great communication, because again, that's his job as a coach. You coach who's out there on the field, and because he's out there on the field, you work with it. But I think that the negotiation money wise, that's going to be on Spytech. It has nothing to do with Rob Leonard. But I'm glad to see that he's out there, because I think they had in mind, what I'm saying, we gave, whether it was a high draft pick or low draft pick, we gave up draft capital for this guy. So obviously they had an idea of what they wanted to do with him.
What do you think about the secondary in general? Just there's been a lot of attention to detail as far as guys that have ball skills, guys that have turned the ball over a lot in their careers coming up. What do you think about them?
About anybody specifically?
Just the way the room looks like they all have that same same mindset.
Yeah, if it's up, it's ours. You know what I mean? We talk about, it's hard right now in the off season going, staying up, but you can see when a guy's in a position to make a play. Anticipation out of breaks. That's why I think individuals so important, giving the coaches their indie time to rep, change of direction, not taking anything for granted there, not just doing schematic type things, putting them in position to do things that they would do in a game, that they can confidently do it and attack the ball. That's what's really important.
What's it been like for you building
Attacking the ball, that was something that everyone really stressed that we needed, and I'm starting to hear that as a common theme in our defense.
It's about time.
So what's an acceptable number of turnovers to bring some level of satisfaction about this defense in Rob Leonard's first year?
Well, just more than the offense turns over the ball. We can start with that. Be on the plus side of the turnovers for once.
Double digits for me.
Double-digit turnovers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we're expected to have double-digit turnovers on the offense, then I'd expect that too. But yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want us to be like a plus 10. That'd be nice. A plus 10. As far as total turnovers, I don't know. I don't know what we had last year, but 20 to 25. How many?
Something like 8.
If we only had 8, we definitely need to have somewhere between 16 to 20, and that's asking a lot. That's asking a whole lot. That's really turning the defense over in your first year. So, assuming if he had, 8, then we definitely need to double that for sure.
I don't know if we're going to double that the first year.
I don't think so either, but I'm gonna stick it there though.
But it's a nice goal, though. It's a nice goal. But I think we might be around 12.
Say 12.
It's hard to say. I mean, they could have a good year. I mean, we just don't know. We haven't even seen them play.
Yeah. What's up with Nutty Raider Nate? What's up with Sacktown Raider Mike?
What that Nutty one?
The cover machine for the first time after spending a lot of time with the defensive line and linebackers throughout your career.
A lot of fun, a lot of work, a lot of hours spent, a lot of communication. Like I said, Joe Woods, Matt Robinson, Al Holcomb have been extremely helpful. I've challenged the staff as much as anybody. Like, we got to be ahead of how we're going to be attacked and what our answers will be, as well as like, this is the teaching process. These are our rules. Okay, how would you attack us? Like, if we were the offense, what would you do? Having those conversations before they actually happen. And it was my job to set the concepts of, this is what we're going to be. These are the coverages we're going to play. These are so on and so forth. But going through the minute details, we've done that together.
Robbie, watching Taryn today, I was extremely impressed with how quick he can just flip his hips. Will you talk about his technique? He just seemed to be just technically right on the mark.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. I mean, his body control, his change of direction is elite. His awareness, his vision, the instincts. I mean, when you can see it in one day, it's pretty glaring. So that was exciting. Yeah.
Okay, well, that kind of clears it up for me. I mean, the only issue not necessarily the only issue, but the main issue is he going to stay healthy now? Because he's a pro, so he's going to learn the system. He has his technique. That's why it's really good that he get into OTA so he can get into his shape. And if you can, like he said, he went out there and said, if you can see it in day one, then there's something there. So the main issue is probably him staying healthy. And one thing I do like about Coach Robbie, what he's doing something similar to Mendoza, which is smart, because I think it's the new Raider way. It's not the Mendoza way. Is we got to learn everything from the broom closet to top floor with the window. He is the head guy, but he needs to go in everybody's room and see what's going on. Get to learn everything about what's going on. Coach who's in front of you. Everybody's not going to be here at the end of the year, but give everybody the best opportunity to be here at the beginning of the year. And I see that happening. So if he's taking all these minor steps to get to the big picture, I think that's the process, because he's new at it as well, similar to Mendoza.
Go ahead, Twan.
Months from your first preseason game, have you decided if you're going to be coaching up in the booth or down on the field?
Not officially. I got to talk to Clint about that.
What do you think about that?
Talking to Clint about what? Well, I wanted to get back a second to where he was talking about how the offense would attack his defense, and which is pretty, kind of eye-opening. That's kind of cool. I'm glad he thought of that. I'm not sure how many other places do that. I'm sure a lot of them do, but it's like he said, it's all in the details, right? The quality's in the details. And if he's going, like you said, from top to bottom, going into the broom closet, and then he's going upstairs to clean the window. So, you know, he's learning every little detail, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah, I like your analogy better. So, chat, what do you guys think he's gonna coach from the booth or on the field? So him saying he gotta talk to coach, I don't know. Coach might want in one place and he might want to be in another. I think he probably is like a players type person, so he might want to be on the field, but I think it's advantageous as a D coordinator to, sit in the booth. Offensive coordinator too, unless you're just like the head coach too, and then that's because it's kind of special because you got to be able to see things. It's different seeing things from bird's eye view versus on the field, because when you're looking at it on the field, there's a lot of things you don't see, and then you rely on what's going on in the booth anyway to translate that and get it to you so you can get it to the guys. So I don't know which one he's going to do. I'm just going to flip a coin and say I think he's going to be in the booth, but he's probably wanting to be on the field. That's just me.
Well, but Kubiak already said he doesn't call the play. He has a meeting with all his guys, and they all collaborate on what plays that are all in the realm of possibility that game or whatever, and then he relies on everybody else, and it goes down the chain of command, right? So.
I'll wait to talk to Clint about that. Yeah.
You worked your way through, you've been all the way back to Cardinals Gibbons and all the way through your career. How much have you thought about when this opportunity actually came and how you would embrace it and run with it? Like, when did you start kind of maybe dreaming about it, thinking about it?
Candidly, when I was a young coach, I think I've said this before, but when I was a long-time quality control for Spags and other things, it trains you more to be a coordinator than a position coach. And I was that for a long time. So I think I wanted to even more when I was younger. And then when I became a position coach, I think I was terrible, to be honest with you, my first year as position coach. I really do. I was the outside backers at the Giants, and I just focused on evolving on that while like keeping notes of what I would do, but I didn't like press to climb the coaching ladder. It wasn't as important to me. I was like, it'll happen when it's supposed to happen, but just make sure I'm ready, I'm prepared on philosophy, beliefs, installation, the whole nine. So I just kind of let the NFL take place and just tried to, I always felt like if I worked hard and did a good job at the job I had, it'll lead to another opportunity rather than chasing something else. I can be a coordinator if I went here or there. That stuff irritates me, quite frankly. So, and I'm a man of faith, and God willing, like I was very blessed. A lot of things had to align for me to have this opportunity. So, and I'm very aware of that.
Robbie, you had
Sounds like he should join the congregation.
He already a part of it. It's amazing though that they in Sin City like that. All these men of faith.
Amazing.
Amazing. So what are you guys' thoughts overall about Coach Robbie? Because we're going to go to Maxx Crosby right now. And what do you guys think about Coach Robbie up until this point? What are you guys' thoughts?
Sounds like a good politician right now. We'll have to see how it comes out in the on the field. I like his game, right? He talks a good game, but we'll have to see how the players come out and react and see how things happen. I mean, I don't expect the world or anything, but I do expect a little bit better than last year and an improvement at least.
I think this is going to be a year that he's going to have a learning experience. I think, when he just talked about it, how he had in mind what he wanted to do, how he wanted to go about it. And that's what you should do. You know what I'm saying? If you're a supervisor and, the next step is manager, you can be like, hey, when I become manager, this is what I'm going to change, right? Well, this is where he's getting to make those changes. But along with those changes, there's going to be some adversity. Because again, everything that he had in here may not necessarily be what it is with the players, right? And that's why he has to figure out what these guys can do and what they can't do. And he's going to have to make adjustments off of that main goal that he has, right? He's probably been thinking that he wanted to go to a 3-4, you know what I'm saying, front variable and all that stuff, right? But if these players that he has right now can't fully execute it, hey, you might see us more in the 4-3. You know what I'm saying? And that's just where it's at. So he's gonna have to make his adjustments, and I think he's a guy that will. But I think it's gonna take some time. It's not just gonna be like I had this idea and it's gonna go 100% perfect. So
I think anybody that think like that is that's what trains your brain to be delusional. Because if just because he's saying something doesn't mean that's what it is right now. You got to work to that, and he's given some insight to where he's trying to head. So I don't really expect what he's saying to translate week one, but we should see the vision of where what he's trying to build. He's like, I'm trying to build this type of house. I want to have this on the top floor. I want to put the kitchen on the top floor and sit on the bottom floor. And then if they're building that and you see that's the framework, and then you see them taking stoves and stuff upstairs, let's not start spazzing out because this not done or this is getting done or we got this going on. Like, just trust the process and the vision. And like you said, it's going to take some time. There's going to be some growing pains in this, and we got to be patient with him. So I just think he's giving us insight in what his philosophy is and how his defense is going to be ran. And that's something that we didn't know about all these other teams. The only thing that everybody want to complain about was running cover 3 on third down or whatever, not understanding why we do that. Like, I understand why we do that. And I'm not saying it was the best tactic or whatever, but at the end of the day, people are just grasping at straws at why things aren't going right. And if we look closely, they're telling us what the framework is. So when things don't go right, we know who to hold accountable, where to hold it, and for how long.
Yeah, but I question anybody who's been putting the kitchen on the top floor.
It's just a metaphor, bro.
I'm just saying.
Because I've seen kitchens on the top floor of nice houses too. So I've seen kitchens on the both floors.
3-story houses. Yeah, I seen some 3-story houses with kitchens in them. Yeah, I have to. But I still don't understand that. That's a lot of plumbing.
It ain't tricking if you got it. That's what they say.
Yeah, I guess so.
Max, let's get to the man of the hour though, because we've been on here for an hour already. Speaking of an hour,
I know.
let's get to Max and see what he's talking about.
I got to go prep my steaks.
Yes, sir. Amazing. Y'all see that? Y'all see that video over there? Y'all click that right video over there. Let me go.
And a bunch of guys that are going to use energy. Build those relationships. We don't go here. Get us in a lot of different. That
out there.
So that myself, but all my teammates, you know, we got.
My bad, y'all.
This technique, but
yeah.
All right, here we go. Gang on me, gang on 3, 1, 2, 3, gang.
But ultimately, you know, I've been through a lot of my life. It's nothing to me.
Even like when he, wasn't here and stuff. So,
all right, there we go.
If you could reflect on what happened with Baltimore, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't really want to talk about that, to be honest. It's water under the bridge. It's a long time ago. Lot of things I learned, about what's going on and just, what this league can bring. A lot of adversity, a lot of different things. You can't really anticipate a lot. But ultimately, I've been through a lot of my life. It's nothing to me. It is what it is. I'm here and I want to be here and I'm excited to be here. And I got a lot of work to do, but yeah, it's water under the bridge.
5 different times today, vets were teaching young guys. It really appears the staff is pushing to the vets. We want you as coaches on the field. We want you imparting your wisdom. Would you talk about that part of this team, please?
Yeah, for sure. I think we have a really good group of older guys and, a mixture of young guys and vets. And anytime, you can get the guys that have done it and have been in the fire to help the young guys, I think that's extremely valuable. So, not only myself, but all my teammates, we have, guys like Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker played a lot of football. You got guys across the board, Taron Johnson being here, being able to teach a guy like, Trey Stukes and, pass down that knowledge is extremely important. And you have Kirk with Fernando and it's like, it goes on and on. So I think it's a really good mixture and it's really important and valuable, not just being on the field, but also, being in the film room and being able to, pass that knowledge down.
Knowing that you were going to be back on the Raiders this season, you said everything happens for a reason. How excited are you to be a part of this group heading into this year with all the new pieces?
Yeah, I'm fired up. Everyone knows my love and appreciation for this organization. That never changed, from day one. That's part of the business. There's a lot of other things that, don't need to be discussed, but ultimately I'm exactly where I want to be. I'm excited and, just being here with this group, we have a extremely smart and great leader of men and Clint Kubiak, coaching staff that is very detailed and very, I would say, tentative with everything they do. They're very, intentional with everything that we're trying to accomplish. We're not just going out there checking boxes. We're trying to get things done the right way and establish a foundation so that when the season comes, we're not out there, making shit up. It's just we go out and play football and we have a plan and this is how we need to execute. So they've been really good with that. I think Robbie is another big part of that. Obviously, everybody deserves their credit. We have a lot of work to do, but ultimately, like Robbie stepping into a D coordinator job is really awesome. I've been able to see him and work with him, as my D line coach for years. And now that he's able, to get the D coordinator job, he earned that. And, I think he's doing a really good job and he just brings juice every day. So when you have a lot of, I feel like we have a lot of young energy in the building. I'm 28 years old and I feel like the old man in the room now. So it's honestly it's crazy, but at the same time, I think everybody's doing their part. Everyone's learning. Everyone's trying to be the best version of themselves, and you can't establish that overnight. You got to do it right now. We got to do it every day, and every time you step in this building, you have to be intentional with how you're trying to accomplish your work.
That was a long answer, but I want to get your response to that because Tizzle, you're one of those people that are on the boat that Max don't want to be here. He keeps saying that he wants to be here, and he's doing the things that's asked of him to be here. What is it that why is it that y'all can't believe when he says it?
Yeah, I just, I don't know. I just have mixed feelings about Max, But, like he said, Coach Rob has been here for, quite a few years already, so he knows about him being around here in the league. So he knows about, knows what he expects from him and what he doesn't, all these things. About Coach Kubiak, all of this pretty much sounds like the commitment to excellence to your boy. They're just going through everything with a fine-tooth comb, making sure they're hitting all the nails on the head, making sure they're all synced the same depth. So that's what it sounds like to me.
Sounds like he wants to get paid. And the Raider organization wasn't the one that initiated this trade. So who was the one that decided that he wanted to leave? It was on Maxx. So I get it. I understand it. You know, I see both sides of it, but it's the reality. He said he wanted you may love the Raiders, but you decided, hey, trade me. Because it wasn't the organization that was trying to kick him out.
How do y'all know? Y'all don't. What I'm not understanding is no matter what he says and what he do, y'all gonna default to how y'all feel about how he was handling the business side of it. Like I don't understand y'all. The Raider organization hasn't been a place where you really. It's like being in the dumpster. It's been like literally being in the dumpster. And so when you see that the organization is doing the same stupid thing over and over and over, and you young enough to make a pivot, that's a business decision that you need to make for yourself as a person. Like that shouldn't even be taken personal against Maxx. And speaking of business decision, make sure y'all hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, hit the you feel me under the video, so that way you can get these
Well, we wanted to make
raw
a business
takes.
decision and show them the door.
That's because that's how you feel though, but that's not what the franchise is trying
That's
to
how the
do.
Raiders felt.
No, you don't know that. Y'all don't know that. Where y'all getting that from? Y'all speculating that, because how do you know it's not wasn't mutual? Like anytime a player is like, look, I've given so much, and I feel like I'm getting to the latter part of my career. I only got about a good 3 years or whatever left, and I want to have an opportunity to go play some meaningful games. Like, what's wrong with a player saying that without you having to say, "Well, he don't want to be a Raider, right? He don't want to be here." And then when he does all the things, how do you say that for him when he's telling you that he does?
Because he's back with the organization. That's why it's just, and I see both sides of it. Like, we've been a dumpster fire for I don't know how long, and there's a point where you do get tired, but it still boils down to the fact that he went to whoever the powers may be and said, "I want to trade."
How do you know it was a conversation? It was a conversation?
Because
how do you know a conversation didn't go like this? What do I have to do in order for us to win meaningful games and get into a situation because I feel like that I'm being wasted? And then the Raider organization could just easily said, you know what? I respect that. Let me put the buzz out around the league, see what we can do, and see what we come up with. It could have been something mutual, but everyone wants to put everything on Maxx. Although we acknowledge that we've been a dumpster fire, incompetent, make stupid decisions, rash decisions, although all those things are true, we still want to sit there and put poo all over Maxx about it. Like I'm not understanding that. And I'm also saying this because I'm not mad at you or nothing like that, because I'm not like a lot of these Raider fans that got pissed off because I did a video about AOC and got all in their feelings about a third string quarterback that the Raiders are currently trying to shop. So I don't understand like why y'all so upset. Y'all starting to act like Niner fans. You know what? Speaking of Niner fans, hold on. Where my video at, man? Dirty be changing stuff around here. Around here. Oh, this boy didn't move my stuff. Okay, that's cool. You got lucky, y'all. Hold on. We'll find it too.
If you're a Niner fan, what it do? Marshawn Lynch said, I'm a Raider.
Yeah, because I'm not getting it. Like, I'm not getting it. I'm not understanding. Like, I didn't hear in there that he want more money. That's the business side. That's assumed already. And every player goes through these things, and especially the higher tier you are, the more you're going to go through this. And there's always players that's like that. There's players that's not 100% happy with being on the team that they're on, but they still commit to the team. That doesn't mean that they don't love the team. They might not just love their business side. And how do you balance those two things? And that's not an easy thing to do. It's not as simple as I'm going to be loyal to the Raiders when the Raiders ain't loyal to you. They've already proven it.
And you're right. It is a business is business, and it's a business decision. But it still boils down to someone took they 2 legs to somebody's room and said, "Hey, this is what's going on."
And he wrong for that. That means he don't want to be a Raider. That's what that means?
I'm just saying at the moment.
No, I'm just asking. Does that mean he don't want to be a Raider because he had concerns about how the franchise is handling itself?
There's a difference between then and now. I'll say that.
Oh, y'all, man. All right, it's cool. It is a difference between then and now. But I promise you, if Max was not on this defense, we would not be thinking as highly of this defense as we do, because we know dang on well Quay Walker is not going to take Maxx Crosby's spot. We haven't even heard about our boy that was taking mental reps. I ain't heard nothing about him since him. I'm gonna start calling him MR, mental reps. I'm sure he's gonna play well, but we ain't heard nothing about him. So the reason why we even talking the way we are, as confident as we are, we're gonna get 15 wins, we're gonna get 10 wins, we're gonna get 11 wins. And I'm not saying that those are wrong. What I'm saying is not the only reason, but a big piece of the reason is because we're confident that Kubiak is gonna do what he do, even though we haven't seen him do nothing yet. But Coach Robbie is gonna be obviously the slower one out of the two. And so we got confidence as much as we do, not to say it's a whole lot, but any amount that we have is because we have Max on this defense, and all we're doing is stuffing money in our pocket, but it's a cut underneath it. So no matter how much you stuff in there, there's nothing in there. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't understand like why we looking at Max the way we are, and he's the leader of our team. Why? Why are we doing that?
I think.
But then y'all crash out for AOC. That's what I don't get. And maybe not y'all, but y'all crash out for AOC, but then want to torch Max, and he's the actual leader player on the team, like a person who plays all the time.
I think I don't want to say two things can be correct, but I think some people have the misconception of maybe what I'm saying versus what you're saying. Now, is he a Raider? Yes, he's a Raider. Does he ultimately want to be a Raider? I'll say that. But the whole initial activation of the trade came from Maxx Crosby. He went to Spy Tech. He went to Mark Davis or whoever, that person was, and was like, "Hey, trade me." And they were like, "Well, you're
saying that. You're making it cut and dry like that. How do you know it went like that?"
Because that's what Mark Davis said. That's what Kubiak said. That's what
Kubiak said that when
they all said that in their press conferences.
They all said Max walked his 2 legs up there and demanded a trade. That's what they said.
They said they didn't want him to leave, and that was the whole situation. That's
not what I'm asking though.
But that was the whole thing when Kubiak had the cup of coffee with Maxx Crosby, because he was trying to have a conversation with him, talking about, "Hey, this is what we got over here."
Yeah, we're privy to maybe 1/16 of the communication of what they actually are talking about.
That's all we.
Even Maxx Crosby said himself, like, there's parts of it he's not going to talk about because, for one, we're not going to understand, and two, like, it's none of your business. So why are we speculating how something occurred? All we should really look at is like, look, they weren't seeing eye to eye on something. Max wanted to put himself in a better situation for his career, which is something that he has his right to do. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Sorry.
No, you good. Go ahead.
No, so with that being said, if he's putting himself in a better situation, who was the one that initiated the trade?
See, you're trying to initiate the trade. How do you know he didn't go in there and say, look, what are you guys playing for the up and coming future? Because what we've been doing has not been working. How do you know that's not all he asks? And then when they say something like, I don't know, or we don't really know, or the division, I mean, what direction we're going in, or if they give him some other situation in his head that's not clear, and then what? Then what if he then start deciding, well, then if y'all don't know what y'all want to do, then I want to do something with my career. I want to play meaningful games. And if we
Oh,
can't see eye
they
to
knew
eye
that
on
they
that,
were
can
gonna
y'all
get
trade me?
Kubiak. They knew they were going to get Kubiak.
They didn't know that.
I'm sure that he knew that was the gospel.
We've been talking
going around
trading
there.
Max for like 2 years now. The conversation didn't start in this offseason. We've been talking about trading Max for like 2 years now.
Yeah, that's because he committed mutiny.
No, see, that's y'all how y'all okay. All right. I don't understand. So he did a mutiny. But
He
now he's
did.
back on the team. So there's no is still a mutiny? Is it still a mutiny going on right now?
I have no issues with him since he's back on the team. He got to
No,
do what
you do.
he got to do
Y'all
what he got
do
to
though.
do. But I'm going back to the initial incident of him in the trade. Him making a video talking about Flock Nation and
Why
all of
can't
that.
y'all let that go?
He
Why can't y'all let that go? Why can't y'all let that go? Why can't? What was he supposed to do? He was supposed to go up there and say Raider Nation. Oh, he's supposed to be like, there is no such thing as Flock Nation. There's only Raider Nation. That's what he was supposed to do.
Yep.
Yeah, all right, y'all tripping.
Hey, see, Pizzle goes a little harder than I do on the situation.
Yeah, but it's still delusional. That's delusional. You've never seen that in the history of any sport.
You gotta eat your crow, bro. When your crow serves, you gotta eat it.
So y'all can't get over that. So y'all can't get over that. Y'all scored.
All I know is there would have been no trade initiated if there wasn't
So
a
y'all
conversation.
scoring. Got it. Y'all scoring.
That shit, yeah, that shit cut deep.
If Max didn't go to nobody's office, Max would have we wouldn't have even would have heard of Max going and getting tested for his knee.
Oh my gosh, y'all scoring. It's cool though.
Cut deep. That's a deep wound.
I
right
see.
there, bro.
I see.
A deep
Their
wound right
involuntary
there, bro.
workouts, stretching with the guys, even though you're working your way back to being at 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a leader by nature. The guys need to see me. I want to be out there and be a part of the team. I just want to be one of the guys. I don't do it because it's me. Trying to be extra or anything like that. I just love what I do, and I love playing football, and I love just being on the field. Like that's my whole world, and being able to do the stretches with the guys is something that I think is important, and just being around the dudes. Just getting better. You know what I mean? I feel like it helps the team in general and just bringing energy as we get the day rolling. But it's been really cool. It's every year's a different journey. And this is, we've been through a lot of changes, a lot of adversity since I've been here. But this has been a long, road to recovery. It's been probably the longest rehab I've been through. But ultimately, it's probably been the best by far. To be completely honest. And we're not even to the finish line. So there's so many people I could, mention in that category, from Rick Slade to Jocelyn that I work with every day, and it goes on and on. Drew Grant, so many dudes that have so many people in general that have helped me during this process, and give them a lot of credit. So yeah, I love being out there with the guys, and I just love being out there on the field. I'm real close, but I'm at that point where it's like I forget. I'm at the point where I'm like almost there, but I forget that I need to relax a little bit. So that's kind of been the biggest battle right now, because I'm almost back to being out there.
It's early in the process right now, but what?
Any words about that?
No, not really. I mean, it just sounds like he's ready for another year, and he's happy to be around the guys and participating in stuff. Because usually when you're hurt, you're not allowed to be around the players.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's not back yet. That kind of concerns me a little bit going into camp. A little bit. It's a little bit, maybe like 25%. I don't think he might be there yet because if he was close, like it would be like I'm ready to go right now, but they telling me to slow down.
Yeah.
But he's acknowledging that either he's acknowledging where he really is or he not as close as I think I would like him to be. But it's not really up for me. But I'm just saying, like, okay, so maybe he is gonna have to slow down as far as how much he's gonna feel until he get into back into shape, which probably won't be until like week 4 or something. But they still have a couple months, so or like what, month and a half.
Because he's probably not going to play in preseason.
All right.
Yeah, no, I don't think.
You know what I'm saying? Like all the main, the big time starters, they, you know what I'm saying? They might go out there maybe 1 series, 2 series, maybe at the most.
Yeah, they're not even going to show anything anyways. It's just going to be basic.
But I'm just saying, like him actually getting out there on the field and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they might let him go do a couple of little run arounds, but I wouldn't risk it.
But it's going to be very light. We're going to see him in sweats.
Right. But yeah, I do want to see more of them take more of these preseason games a little more serious. But I do get it's just to scout the talent that you got and what everybody else has got and stuff like that. But we don't have 4 games anymore.
Yeah, Bruce Willis. Go ahead.
I don't like that, just personally. And it's not necessarily for the sake of trying to watch them play. They have to, every season they have to build up callus to get through, you know what I'm saying, the rigors of the season. So you're not giving them enough, time to get that football callus before they get into the season. That's why even last year, you notice in the beginning of the season, pretty much everybody, pretty much every team had somebody that went down super early. And it's because of the what is it, the NFLPA or whatever, or the non what is it called? The bargaining agreement or something like that. Like they're taking the physicality out of the practices, so it's not helping condition their bodies per se for the game.
I agree. They've been doing that since 2010. Ever since they signed it over in 2010, it's gone downhill.
Okay. Yeah. Bruce Willis says he needs more sacks. That's what it comes down to, and more game-changing plays, like more. See, y'all do this to him every year, and then when he give y'all more, y'all still do this to him. Because y'all said that coming into the season last year, and he did more. And we still were losing games when he did more, like the Chicago game. We still blame the Chicago game on the defense. Like, that's what be worrying me about people when they watch these games, because are y'all watching it from a football aspect or y'all watching it from a fan aspect? Because y'all want him to do more, he does more, then y'all get mad because he says Flock Nation because we know it's one nation. Like, we know that, but is it that serious? Is it that serious? Is that serious where y'all feelings is hurt that he said that?
Just keep opening it up. Just keep opening it up.
That's not. I wouldn't want to play football with people that felt that way, because I might yell at you one time and call you out your name one time, and now you're gonna hate me for the rest of the season because low key you mad because I called you out your name.
No, I wouldn't go that.
That's
far.
what that sounds like to me.
Maybe not all season. Maybe the rest of the game.
I can see the rest of the game. But even in that, I'm calling you that so you can get pissed and play better, not for you to be mad at me, but not to take it personal. It's business. It's business first, y'all. Y'all don't understand. This is not a sport first.
It's business. It's business, Flock Nation.
You think he loves saying that?
Yeah.
Or y'all saying he shouldn't have said it? Okay, I could agree with that. Maybe he could avoid saying it.
Yeah,
he probably could have avoided it.
He knows there's only one nation. He knows how people feel about that shit. He did that on purpose.
He didn't. Oh my God! See, now y'all know how to read the intent of people's mind. Now he did that to stick it to the Raiders for real.
Yeah.
That's what you thought.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Sacktown Raider says, "Oh no, it's we the people." He said, "I don't take." He says, "I don't take Maxx Crosby." Where's these things at? I don't know why it says something. Oh, anyway, it says, I don't take Maxx Crosby asking for a trade personally. He wanted to go to a winning team, and our coaching staffs have been terrible the past several seasons. Exactly. Like, y'all want to stay in, y'all like staying in toxic relationships you ain't got to stay in? That's what y'all like. That's what y'all telling me? When you got a choice, to move on?
I want to stay here and be part of turning this organization around. And then when the tough gets tough, I want to go to a winning team and win.
It's been tough the whole time he been here.
That's the hard luck life.
What do you mean? What do you mean? So he is just supposed to. So he's supposed to go down with the ship. He's supposed to go down with the ship so y'all can treat him like Derek Carr.
JJ Watt went down with the ship.
So y'all can treat him like Derek Carr.
JJ Watt went down with the ship.
Y'all just, I guess.
And he was way better than Max. He never made it to the Super Bowl. You didn't hear him.
Okay, here we go. He had no choice but to come back. He could have easily said when he came back he didn't want to be with the Raiders. They would have forced a trade. Sorry. So it's not that he had to be back with the Raiders. Yeah, by default he came back. The Raiders owned his rights, but he didn't have to. He could have easily said, "I don't want to play with the Raiders," with this mentality that y'all are talking about. His "I don't want to be here" mentality. He
wouldn't say that because he got humbled.
So time out. Y'all telling me that he walked his two legs up there to ask for a trade, but all of a sudden, because the Ravens didn't want him, he got humbled. So let's just assume he got humbled. So is he humble now or is he not humble?
I don't know. We'll have to see how he plays this year.
He doing what he got to do. He got to keep that money flowing. So obviously he had to come back to the organization until further notice.
What do you mean? So y'all not making sense. So he forced a trade in the beginning, but he can't force a trade after he's been traded already.
No, because that
don't even make sense.
The bad news was out about the knee.
So you don't think nobody will take Maxx Crosby?
Not with the bad shock absorber.
We just talked about that, and the reports came out that all the teams that were interested in him backed out.
Bro, I promise you, if Maxx Crosby said he is not playing for the Raiders this year, even if he got to sit out, they would trade him to somebody. Don't sit there and act like they'll just have him sit there the whole year.
Oh, they'd have him sit. You know the mentality of the Raiders.
No, they're not. They've never done that.
They did it with Marcus Allen.
What, made him sit a whole year?
Yeah, they made him sit.
A whole year?
Yeah, they made him wash away half his career.
And then that's how he ended up in Kansas City.
Yeah.
He forced a trade. He never played with the Raiders again.
No, they didn't force a trade. He didn't force a trade. His contract ran out.
So regardless, that's the business side of that's how it played out. But he never played with the Raiders again.
Nope, he sure didn't.
So to say he didn't have a choice, he does have a choice.
Well, no, he's still under contract.
So you all right. So now y'all telling me that if you're under contract, there's no way you could force a trade. He was under contract when he forced a trade with the Ravens.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I think that at that time, I think they were ready to let Max go. But when the report comes back about the knee, they're stuck with him.
They're not stuck with him, bro. They could have.
They stuck with him.
They could have got rid of him. Says,
it's like a Siamese twin right now. Jack, what you mean?
Sacktown Raider Mike says, bottom line, nobody outside of the Raider organization knows what happened in the offseason or any other time of the year. Hey, I agree. I really don't know. All I know is that it was a trade initiated. I don't know who walked into
Alright.
where and said what, because I don't know.
Yeah, Mark
But I
Davis
know,
rolled
but
up
I
to
can
Max's
understand
house
that
and
Max
said, you
is.
know what, bro? I want to trade you. That's what I think happened.
I can understand that Max walked in there and asked what the direction of the franchise because we had no direction. Everybody even been saying that. Everybody literally been saying that. But when Max says it, the player that's actually doing it, then he doesn't want to be a Raider
I
anymore.
think, like I said, I think Mark was cruising through the hood one day and just seeing Maxx Crosby pushing his garbage can outside and shit. It was like, you know what? I think I want to trade this guy.
So it says, let me see. Alfredo says Max looks bigger. It's a lot of the players are looking bigger, more muscle mass. He did that Flock Nation on purpose, trolling us on his way out. No way I'm gonna let him off easy. All right, well, be in your feelings about it then. Just be in your feelings about it, because you'll be amongst the rest of the emotional
He
fans.
didn't know. There's no way he didn't know he was gonna. He was
Whatever. Okay, let's say if it's true, y'all still in y'all feelings. That's what I'm saying. That's just like if me and you was playing the dozens and I say something about your mama, you gonna be mad because I talked about your mama for real. Like, so what? I knew that was gonna hurt your feelings. That's why I said it. But now we can't have a fight and be brothers again. We can't not see eye to eye and be brothers again. Now I gotta hold something against you because we had a difference of opinion or a different of feelings about how we went about things. So now we're gonna hold stuff against him. I get it.
What I got against Max has nothing to do with the trade. But Rebel, you're right. That's what I'm trying to explain to Black.
What? What are you trying to explain?
That Max initiated the trade.
You just said it has nothing to do with the trade, and then the first thing out your mouth is he initiated the trade.
Yeah, well, no.
See, that's why I'm not hearing you, because you said the thing that I have against Max is nothing about the trade, and then the first thing out your mouth was because he initiated the trade.
Because you said that everybody has an issue with. I can't recall exactly the way you said it, but it had nothing to do with the trade.
Okay.
So
regardless of, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
No, regardless of what I said, and regardless of what happened, y'all telling me that y'all can't have a fight with your brother and disagree with your brother, even if you don't agree with what he did. Y'all can't get past that because now you're going to have some kind of residual feeling about what he did. So now you got to look at him in a certain kind of way. So y'all no longer brothers. Like, so hold on. And so then after he does this for another year, then he like, well, look, the Raider Nation don't appreciate me. And then when he started talking about moving on, then y'all want to start crying. See, I knew Max didn't want to be here. No, y'all didn't appreciate him. Y'all never appreciated him.
What's the appreciate? The immunity or the Flock Nation?
All of the above.
My issue with Max is his production. I understand. Yes, he's Maxx Crosby, however you feel about him. But if he's getting paid top dollar at the pass rushing rate, he needs to be at double-digit sacks every year.
Okay. So if he get double-digit sacks, if he get double-digit sacks, that makes him the guy now. Not how he affects the game. Just that he gets double-digit sacks now.
It's numbers.
That is affecting the game.
So it's about numbers now.
It's always been about numbers.
No, it's always been about numbers for y'all, not for me.
How much should a running back get in a game to consider him having a good game?
Bro, I don't care. It don't matter. We just had a man that won the Super Bowl MVP that didn't score a touchdown. We just had a running back win the MVP and did not score a touchdown. It don't matter. I don't understand because one moment y'all talk about just win, and then the next moment y'all want to talk about, well, the numbers got to be like this. And I'm like, wait a minute, y'all all over the place with this, man. Because at the end of the day, whether y'all like him or not, Maxx Crosby is one of the top DNs in the NFL, regardless of how y'all feel about it. It's all about how I feel about it. Because I don't really have a feeling about it when it comes to Maxx, honestly. But I do have a feeling about it and why I'm so passionate, because I'm looking at how the fans are reacting to Maxx. And I'm like, okay, even if what y'all saying is true about Maxx, right? Why are y'all acting all emotional about it? Why are y'all doing that? Why don't y'all just say, why don't y'all just say, well, you know what, Maxx, you dirty for that. But you know what we need from you is
he's a dirty bird. He's a dirty bird.
I just want the production to match how much we're paying them. That's my issue with it.
That too.
Yeah,
and that all boils down to numbers. And that's why I said it's a number thing. Yeah.
y'all don't know business, man. Y'all don't know football business. Because you don't get paid for what you can do. You get paid for what you've already done.
So
They give you the money based on what you've done. Obviously, the league value them at a certain point. So whatever the league value them at versus what y'all think, who do you think which one is the reality? Which one is the reality? How you value him or how the league value him?
So
which one is the reality?
Double digit sacks, half of his career is production.
What is the reality? Is the reality is how you feel about his numbers or what the league value is numbers? Which one is the reality? Can I just get an answer to that? And then I'll answer your question. Which one is the reality?
So who's valuing his numbers?
The NFL. How the NFL value him versus how you feel about his numbers and how you value him. Which one is the reality? This is not difficult. It's not a difficult question. Which one is the reality? That's cool. The reality is the NFL. Because if Maxx left and went somewhere, he's going to get a certain dollar amount because of his value, not because how you feel about his value.
Doesn't well, his value, they obviously overvalued him. That's why he came back.
Oh, yeah.
They obviously
regardless of what y'all say, he's one of the top 5 pass rushers in the NFL. And if y'all want to sit there and say, well, his money says he should have double-digit sacks, and if he get double-digit sacks and we don't win the game, then y'all gonna be talking about, well, he needs to cause more fumbles. Y'all gonna keep moving the goalposts.
I wouldn't. That's the same thing with Myles Garrett. We know Myles Garrett did what he. Yeah, I know he had the best pass rush. You know what I'm saying? The best sack total last year, but it was the reason why the Browns lost it was not because of Myles Garrett. He did what he needed to do. They needed to make sure that they had other pieces around him in order for them to be successful. So if Maxx was putting up numbers like TJ Watt, if Maxx was putting up numbers like Trey Hendrickson, which obviously the Ravens decided that he was a better pass rusher than Maxx Crosby.
That's you saying that. That's you saying that. Stop doing that. Because that's not what they said. That's what you're assuming. That's what you're assuming. Because I can equally say, you know what? The reason why they chose Trey Henderson because he was a less of a risk, and they don't have to give up 2 first-round draft picks to get him. That makes more business sense. It got nothing to do with how they play with each other. You don't know. Y'all just like y'all always keep saying. Well, I got to see him play. You don't even know how Trey Hendrickson's gonna play over there. You don't know if Maxx would have been a better fit for them. Y'all don't know that. We don't know that. So all these narratives that y'all keep coming up with, I don't understand it.
But we'll know. We'll see Hendrickson over there for sure.
Y'all is tripping. Y'all tripping. Y'all, all these things we speculating that. We don't know if they value them. How you know they didn't want both of them?
No,
you don't know that.
I don't.
So I don't understand. Being that we don't know that, how do y'all have these preservations against Maxx? Because all these things happen. He can't win. I wasn't going to play for no nation that felt like that either.
And sack times, you're right. There's more stats than just sacks for a defensive end. But when your defensive, your star pass defensive end is not sacking, then there's an issue, right?
They never paid him to be the sack leader of our team like that. Do we actually have any? We paid him for what he was, his ability to stop the run and to get some sacks. Like, because what we want to do first is stop the run. Like, we supposed to be bringing all these players. Why y'all don't dump on Koonce? He's been stealing money from the Raiders for years now.
I've
Not
been
as
on
much as
Koonce.
Maxx.
I call him Waldo. He's non-existent.
Yeah, but y'all, his name don't fly out y'all mouth like when y'all see Maxx Crosby, y'all start going crazy. Like, why y'all don't never say? Why y'all know? I don't never hear nobody say, "Well, Maxx Crosby a better player if Koonce actually stepped up." Y'all don't say that. Y'all think it, but y'all don't say it.
I got tape to prove it.
And when I say, "Oh, you're one out of 1,000 Raider fans," I'm just saying, like, for the majority, when we talk about Malcolm Koonce, I rarely hear anybody, including anybody, say, "You know what?" All I hear y'all say, including me, yeah, he needs to step up this year. He needs to have double-digit sacks. That's what y'all. But when y'all say it about Max, y'all say it like he just needs to play better. He needs to earn his money. I'll never hear y'all say nothing about all the deficiencies that the D linemen have that have failed him. I'm talking about over the years. I ain't talking about just the current one. I'll never hear y'all take none of the pressure off of Maxx Crosby. All y'all talk about is how much money he made.
He makes a lot of money for the least amount of production.
Right. I guess that's what we have. I guess that's what we have in Kirk Cousins too. Then
I mean, we that's what we do. We made Maxx the highest paid player, right? And then Myles Garrett got his money because Myles Garrett knew he was going to get more money than Maxx.
So it doesn't have nothing to do. It has very little to do.
Yeah,
with,
it did. Yeah, it did because we didn't have to set the market price with Maxx, but we did.
But that doesn't even make sense.
The same thing.
That doesn't even make sense. You're a top pass rusher, but you don't want to reset the market. Myles Garrett wants him to reset the market.
Yeah, he did. But after Maxx Crosby did, because
of course, that's how the business goes.
Man,
that's how the business goes. I don't even care how good you are.
How did that work out for us? We set the market. We
yeah, but you can't blame the whole franchise on Derek Carr either.
We're winning with him or without him, right?
Yeah, well, you definitely lose without him. So
yeah, we definitely losing with him too.
So why are y'all? So why are you blaming them then? Why are you blaming them then? If we're going to do it regardless, why are you blaming the player then? Why are you blaming the player then? If we're as a franchise, no matter who we bring in, we do that. Why are you blaming the player?
Because of what he does.
Right. That's delusional.
I understand the cap situation. I understand that there's a market for pass rushers and just any position in general.
Market.
But you have to ask yourself, has he produced according to the amount that he's getting?
That's not how you. Oh my God, y'all don't do that to nobody. I don't never hear y'all do that to nobody. Who do you ever say that? Who else on the team don't earn any money? Name 3 other players right now off the top of your head without going Name 3 players that don't earn any money right now.
Who
other than Koonce? Because I just gave y'all that one. I just gave y'all that one. Who else?
Who's getting money? Who's getting big money anyway? That has
you know what? It's not. So it only matters now when you're making big money. You know what? I never. This is why I didn't play soccer, because if the goal ever moved, I'll be pissed. So it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Because y'all can't name them.
I'm asking you a legit question. Who else is making big money on our team?
How are you asking me a question when I asked you the question? I asked you to name 3 players on the roster that don't earn any money right now. And then you want to ask me a question.
Because there's nobody that's making big money. Everybody's under a rookie contract.
All
They
right.
just got here.
All right. So it's only Maxx.
Yeah.
It's only Maxx. It's only you, Maxx.
Yep.
Maxx, you're holding the franchise back.
Yeah, he is.
Maxx, you're crippling the franchise, Maxx.
He is.
I didn't say all that.
I didn't say you said that.
38 million a year or something.
You're not playing. You didn't play better last year than you did the year before, Max. Even though I know you did.
No, he didn't.
Let me see. I don't care about the Flock Nation BS. To be honest, thank you, Bruce Willis.
Flock Nation.
Here we go. We the people. With that logic, Kobe is super whack for asking for a trade when he got drafted by the Suns. When he got drafted by the Suns, he got drafted by the Hornets. If you're talking about Kobe Bean, and he did ask for a trade.
So did Eli Manning.
He said no. He didn't. JJ, right? Him too. He said JJ went to the Cardinals. He said Pizzle with the Jay-Z line.
That was late in his career.
Oh. But he did what was best for his career.
No, they let him
himself.
go. No, they let him go. They put him out to pasture.
He could have retired there if he wanted to.
They did the old Yeller. You seen old Yeller, bro?
You don't think JJ Watt could have retired there if he wanted to?
You seen old Yeller, bro? No, he wanted to keep playing like all these superstars do. They don't know when their time is time to leave, bro. You got to do the old Yeller. You got to do it. You got to put them out to misery, bro.
Yeah, all right.
They don't know when it's time to go. They all want to hang
Like
out.
Glover said, that's not exactly how it went with Marcus. How did it go, bro? Enlighten us, because that was many moons ago. Now we trust him. Now we trust him. A non-football guy who can probably get his feelings as easy as these new Raider fans, these new improved Raider fans. Like Mark Davis said he did. So we're going to trust Mark Davis at his word. Exactly. Mark Davis said he came in there. Mark Davis, what did he do? He went in there like Suge Knight and held him over the rail and told him that you better trade me.
I told you, Mark Davis was rolling through the hood and he seen Maxx Crosby rolling his garbage can out. And he's like, I'm going to roll up and tell Max I'm going to trade him right now.
I don't care.
Has frequent conversations with Mark Davis.
I don't care if he went in there. I don't care if he went in there and asked for the trade. Even if he did go in there and ask for the trade, y'all can't get over it, and y'all can't understand why he would ask for a trade. But y'all still in y'all feelings about that.
I just want him to produce. I want double-digit sacks. I want 14, 15 sacks. Okay.
So why y'all don't say that about other players? Why y'all don't act like that with all the other players? Because you're not actually about the other. No one's making the money Max is making.
I want Pal Mal to have 20 interceptions. Okay. I want Keyron Crawford to have 20 sacks. I want
see how you doing that?
1,000 yards passing.
Right. Yeah, that's how crazy y'all sound. So you should keep that up. That's how crazy that sounds.
Who else dollar-wise am I supposed to expect that from?
You're not supposed to even approach it like that. Because do you think while you playing on the field, everybody be like, well, you make more money, so I'm going to hit you because you make more money. Or I'm going to do this to you because you make more money. Or can you make a play right now because you make more money? That's not how that goes.
So let me ask you a question, Black. When these
that is so not how it goes.
When these agents go talk to the GM in regards to negotiations with their player, what do they bring? What do they bring to the
table?
Are
you talking about the business side now, or are we talking about the sports side? Because obviously I need to differentiate between the two because y'all like to jump over and over and over and over. Are we talking about the business side or on the field side?
No, we're moving the goalpost. Don't worry.
So are we talking about the business side or are we talking about the player side?
Obviously, it's business.
Okay, so now ask the question again.
So when an agent goes to Spy Tech or whoever's in charge on behalf of their player, what do they bring to the table?
What do who bring to the table?
What does the agent bring to the table in regards to negotiations for dollars?
Yeah, like I just told y'all. The things that he's done. That's what he's getting paid for what he's done.
Right? What he's done. Stats, right?
But no, that's not. No, see,
What hasn't
y'all
come for me
quantify it as
lately?
stats. Y'all don't want. Y'all want to quantify it as stats. It's more than that. It's more than it's stats
Where's
plays a
Janet
part,
Jackson at?
and you
So
stats play a
you're
part.
telling me an
So,
agent can
can I
go
answer the
in?
question? Y'all gonna let me answer the question or what?
Go ahead.
Sure, you can leverage your contract with stats, absolutely. But they also want to know what's your character like? What do you like in the locker room? What kind of teammate you are? Are you a leader? Are you a passive type person who doesn't talk to the coaches, or are you a person that are always in touch with the coaches? It's a package of things. It's not just, oh, you know what? I'm Maxx Crosby. I had 21 sacks this year. You know what? I need the bag.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not because if he came in this year, if he came in this year and alienated the team because he wanted to be Flock Nation so bad, and then
Flock
came in
Nation.
and just balled out and had 21 sacks, they're gonna be like, yeah, you had 21 sacks, but the locker room don't like you no more. You're no longer that leader that you used to. So what we're going to do as a franchise, since we're talking business, we're going to trade you because your
We
value is
got
the
top
highest
dollar
right
to
now.
get 21 sacks like next year, bro. We might get a handsome what do they call that? We get some nice something in return.
But that goes to the whole detrimental to the team, right? Yeah, you can have that side of it. Oh, he's a nice guy, but you also got to have the production, and the production obviously goes way more than the other side.
Nice guy.
No, obviously it don't. Not in this regime.
So you're
because
telling me
if that was the case, we would bring in a Diggs. If that was the case, we'd have brought in AJ Brown. If that was the case, we'd have brought in all these guys, these receivers the 1,000-yard receiver. If the production was the primary thing, then we would have brought those guys in. But y'all seem to think that the production supersedes everything, and it does for a lot of teams that's desperate. We're not moving desperate, even though we're in a desperate situation. And that's why I like what we're doing right now, because we're not acting like these dysfunctional teams that the head office are just trying to win from the player up and not the top down. That's what's the difference. It's not about production all the time, man. And then y'all keep looking at it like,
that's my homie. I got to pay him a little more. That's my friend.
Right. As if that don't happen.
You know what I mean?
As if that don't happen a lot.
I hear you.
And when he went on his podcast and was all excited, whatever, what y'all thought he was supposed to do? Be over there crying? So, like I said, y'all scoring. Y'all can't even get past it. Like, boy, y'all.
So
Bruce Willis said, not my mama.
So for me, let me clarify. I don't care that he came back, whatever the situation is. That trade flopped, and that's exactly what it was. And but beyond that, I want production, and that's where I stand on it.
You should want that from every player. You should want that from every player.
Yeah,
10 toes down on that.
Yeah.
But y'all don't use that. So, but when I say something about AOC, then y'all get. I ain't talking about you necessarily, but when I say something about AOC, when I say something about his production, because he can't stay on the field for a whole season, then y'all want to get mad and unfollow me, unsubscribe, and leave long dissertations in the comments, which I appreciate. About how I don't know football and how I'm not a Raider fan and all that goofy stuff, because I can see something. Because I can see something that y'all looking at it from y'all beer goggles or Raider goggles or whatever, because y'all like him because he was with us as long as I get it, but he's not playing. Y'all ever see Menace to Society when Kane's cousin Harold got shot? And he was like, I can't leave him, man. I can't leave him, man. And he was like, well, you stay here with him then.
Yeah, they had to get him to the hospital.
Exactly, because there's other things going on that's more important. And AOC is Harold. And AOC is Harold. Sorry. It's not that I don't like AOC. I like AOC. Actually, it's a good time to trade him because he got more touchdowns than interceptions.
Harold was sitting there convulsioning
with his 7-10 record. Here we go. Are we forgetting about the knee injury? We don't know how that's going to hold up. We don't. He's been a problem for a minute. Now he's a problem. Yeah, y'all funny as hell, boy. Y'all hella funny. The best player on our defense is the problem.
I don't know if he's the best player.
Who's better than him on our defense last year or the year before that? Name him.
I have questions. I like Koonce actually.
Me too. That's why he ain't gonna be here next year. He keep playing like he was going.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in his production, but he had a hurt knee. But he's
We the people said Maxx Crosby was never supposed to be a DN, right? It ended up being one, and then got mad because he only had one move. Something many fans don't take into consideration, and end up being in the top 5 DNs with his one move. But his money doesn't dictate that.
I see him go to the inside a lot, which means he isn't setting the edge.
Yeah, you're saying that.
I keep all players foot to the flame.
No, I don't. Some of y'all keep it to the lighter, and some of y'all keep it to a bonfire. You keep some players to a lighter, that flame, and then Maxx Crosby is a whole bonfire. Every time y'all put the skewer on him and then start rotisserie him every time he show up.
You ain't gotta eat.
Gotta eat, right?
You ain't gotta eat.
Is he a top 5? What is it? What does the league say? Forget how you feel about it. What does the league say? Forget how I feel about it. I don't necessarily like his DN style either, but I can appreciate it. Just watching football without putting no emotion to it. Like, you need to take the emotion out. It's time for some football so y'all can get y'all testosterone back up because I'm hating this.
I'm surprised that he ain't got his shirt up right here showing off his tattoos right now like he always do.
All right.
I'm surprised he ain't showing off his tattoos right now.
Name him, Fredo. Alfredo, name him.
Myles Garrett, Brian Burns, Danielle Hunter, Aiden Hutchinson, Nick Benito, top 5.
Okay, hold on. Watch this.
Uppercut. Oh, you can.
No, go ahead and talk, because now I ain't talking. Y'all ain't got nothing to say. Go ahead. Go on and read the comments or whatever. I'm about to look something.
I'm just going off the sack leaders.
No, see, that's what so that's what makes the DN the best DN. How many sacks he get, and that's why I can't respect that. I can't respect that because there's way more to the game than getting a sack. Especially if we're talking about somebody that's only gonna get a sack a game. Like, you really think 1 sack a game is going plus 5-year win totals or plus 3-year win totals? A sack a game from one player.
Now, if you got 2 sacks a game, now we'd be talking.
And even that ain't gonna make you win no games. Cleveland didn't win no games. They had Myles Garrett.
If he's getting 2 sacks a game,
so that don't even make sense.
He's only getting like 1.5 a game or something.
But it still goes to, you look at the game. Yeah, they won the game, but who was the one that produced? Who's the one that got it done? Who's the one? You know what I'm saying? So let's just say Maxx had a 5-sack game, right? And we lost. It wouldn't be on Maxx. Maxx went out there and put in work. Maxx would have been the guy that I'd have been like, hey, who ate the brown crackers or player of the week, he would have got that award, even in a loss. So I understand
Right.
it boils. Yeah, we want wins. Yes, we want wins. But when you go back and look at the stats and say who was the contributors to this win,
See, that's what's wrong. You guys are determining games
who went
by
out there and
stats.
did their job despite the loss.
Y'all determining games by stats. It's not what you do. You don't determine how a person affects the game solely by stats. You don't. But let me tell you who the top DNs and pass rushers according to the people that I don't know, guessing, I guess. But I see some names on here that you did not mention, but whatever. Number 1 was Miles Garrett. Number 2 was TJ Watt. Number 3 was Michael Parsons. Number 4 was Nick Bosa. Number 5 is Maxx Crosby. Now, I don't know. Honorable mention, Aiden Hutchinson, Trey Hendrickson, and maybe some other new players that you talking about. But we talking about players that's been that for over a long period of time, not these new players that's starting to rise up. Yeah, of course you can put them there now because they got more sacks in them, but who affects the game more? I bet you if you ask the NFL defensive coordinators who they playing for the most, the top 5, I bet you he in that.
I pulled up the sack leaders of 2025.
I'm talking about the best top 5 DNs in the game, not sack leaders. I'm talking about just DN players, like. And then and so he a top 5 player, but y'all blaming everything on him, and that don't make sense. I don't get it.
No, I'm not blaming
That just
everything
don't make
on
sense.
him. I'm just saying I'd like to get a little bit more for my buck. That's all.
Yeah, I would too. Maybe like 2 more interceptions, pick 6.
Well, a couple of forced sacks, fumbles. You know what I'm saying? A couple of strip sacks. You know what I'm talking about. I gotta go though.
Yeah, we the people. They act like this guy ain't hurt. Like, who just missed significant games.
Well,
But they forgot about that. But they all know about Max Nito.
He wanted to keep playing though, and he wanted to keep playing. Imagine if we would have let him play the last 2 games, he would have hurt it even worse.
Koonce got drafted to
Nobody
replace
wants to
Mac
talk
and
about
never
that.
came close. Maxx probably got drafted to be a camp body. Now, Will Anderson, how long Will Anderson been in the league? Now you putting him at top 5? See, this is what I'm talking about.
I didn't say Will Anderson.
No, I'm looking at the comment. That's what I'm saying. Y'all put Will Anderson top 5 now? All right. Aiden Hutchinson top 5. Okay. Nobody gonna say Aiden Hutchinson is top 5. You never hear that. At least it's arguable with Max. You don't never hear Aiden Hutchinson being a top 5 DN. Y'all just saying stuff, and y'all think y'all triggering me, but I'm loving it because y'all showing a reflection of y'all, not me. I love all these comments. I'm all behind this seat. Dang, we can't even get to what you saying, Max, because you public enemy number 1.
I just thought about the direction and the thumbprint that Robbie Leonard's put on his defense.
Yeah, he's got his own twist. He's been in a lot of different systems. Obviously, it goes back to he was with the Giants, and then he was with Baltimore for a year, and then he was with Miami with Brian Flores. He's been around Mike McDonald, just won the Super Bowl, and then being around Pat, Josh McDaniels. You know what I mean? He's been with a lot of different people and have a lot of different influences. So I think just him in general, just being able to be a sponge. He's not a robot in anything he does. He's not trying to just do what everybody else wants him to do. He's going to do it his way. And guys respect that because they know how hard he works and how much he loves and cares about his team, about this team and the players. And you can really feel that. You can't fake that energy. And I think that's a big reason why, he got the job, is because not only is he extremely smart when it comes to football, he just has a really unique and special way of being able to relate to the players, and guys feed off that energy. So yeah, he's done a hell of a job. Every single day, it's not going to be perfect, and he knows that. He's learning. This is his first time doing it, and it's really cool just having those conversations and being able to see him evolve. Because I was with him, 4 years ago, and he just came in trying to, he was an outside linebacker coach and D-line coach, and like he was just doing everything to try to just get us in a position to win. Now he's in a bigger platform, but he hasn't changed at all, and that's the coolest thing, because he's authentic. He's exactly who he is and who he says he is, and I think that's really special when you have that coming from coaches.
You talked about the change, the different regime changes that have happened with this organization. I'm wondering too, what gives you more faith in this one than your, previous regime changes? Yeah,
honestly, it doesn't. I'm not into making predictions, getting too high, too low. Like I've been there before and in the past, and I'm always going to be overly optimistic. If you don't believe, you have no chance. So for me, coming in every single season, I believe, we play this game to win. We don't go here to rebuild or, have a chance or get a little bit better. Like, obviously, we have a lot of work to do, and we do have to get a lot better. And, there is a lot of things that need to go in our favor, but ultimately, like, I'm always going to be very optimistic. And I try to, feed that to my teammates. You know what I mean? If we go into the season thinking we're going to lose, you're probably going to lose. You know what I mean?
Thank you, Max, for being the adult in the room. Thanks for being the leader of the pack, Max. We don't have a rebuild mentality. We're trying to win right now. And I understand it, and I know it might sound like we're going to win right now to everybody. I get it. I'm sure that people are going to say that. I don't know what people are going to say, because I can't figure y'all out with y'all thought process. But I'm glad he said that we're trying to win right now. That's a championship mentality. That's how you turn a franchise around. Before you build the culture, and then the structure, and then the foundation, and then everything else becomes easier. You can predict everything else primarily. So I like to see that from Max. So what y'all think?
I'll say what I gotta say, and then I gotta go. Yeah, I hit the nail on the head with what he was saying about Coach Rob, and I just think that I think he's going to be prepared to go, and we'll see what happens, and hopefully he ends up working out, this defensive scheme.
Yeah, I think he needs to. I think it was good that we hired within. Rob Leonard has been under Patrick Graham for a while, and I think he was the next person in line. So I'm glad that they decided to give him a shot, and we'll see. Rookies make rookie mistakes, and I think he's going to take his lumps, but that's just the process, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Right on, guys. I'll see you later. I gotta go get my food ready.
All right, go ahead, Pizzle. Good
Later,
to see
guys.
you. Hey, make sure you guys hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to all channels. Expressed on the screen. You have Pizzle here. Obviously, Black is in the building, and then here, Red Twan. So make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe. It is free. You pay a lot for other stuff. We ask you to do the things that are free.
The best things in life are free.
So no matter what it is, no matter what the situation, no matter who's coaching, if you don't have everybody on board and everybody, invested and dialed in on finding ways to win and improve as an individual, so that can improve the unit and everyone is working, in the same direction, then, you're wasting time. So I think Clint has done an awesome job. Robbie's done an awesome job. Obviously, we have new coaches all over the place. We just have a lot of new energy, and it's different, but we're learning on the fly and learning each other. You know what I mean? We've only been around each other for a few months, and we're just building those relationships, and we got a lot of new guys on the roster, and it's a process, and you just have to buy into it every day. You know what I mean? You can't look too far down the road. You can't look in the past. All that is irrelevant. You know what I mean? It's all about where your feet are at, and that's honestly where I think, this team is what this team is doing right now is just not listening to the outside noise, not getting too high, too low, just being present and focused on getting better, because that's going to give us the best chance when it comes to Sundays.
Exactly, Max. Freaking exactly, Max. When it comes to playing the game, all this emotional stuff is going to hurt you more than help you. You have no highs, you have no lows. That means you maintain composure at ease. That's all it is. You can only be where your feet at. He's wearing a Raider jersey. We always talk about commitment to excellence. We always talk about once a Raider, always a Raider. But yeah, our feet is somewhere else other than where it is today. But Max, they want to see you do it in order for them to believe it or whatever. That's not everybody in the nation. And I'm one of them people that don't feel like that. And maybe there's others, but I like what he said right there, because it gets no truer than that. So like he said, block out the outside noise. So maybe I need to listen to Max. What you got?
I mean, that's what he has to do. The mark of the beast is on his forehead, so he has to fight off the media and all the other people that may not necessarily be in the building that are a part of the media. So we talked about that the last time with Devontae Adams and Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker went to talk to Devontae Adams, and Devontae Adams said the best thing to do is block out the noise. Keep the main thing the main thing.
Hey, Fredo.
Will Anderson Jr. has been playing football professionally for 3 years.
Fredo.
In the NFL when he was drafted by the
Fredo.
Texans in 2023.
Exactly. I never said that bro wasn't a dog. I don't this is the thing that kind of worries me about a lot of people. See? Worried about y'all. Is I said he wasn't a top 5 DN. And I also said I'm not talking about any of these new players. Like, you have to do it for a while. So he was a top 5 player when he came into the league. That's what we saying. Like, he hasn't been in that position long enough to even be on the list, like up there like that. I never said he wasn't a dog. I never said he didn't play well in the playoffs. Just like I never said anything about AOC not being a cool quarterback, but I'm just saying the reality is he's this kind of quarterback. But y'all want to be mad because y'all think he's something else. And I'm just saying, look, bro, he's not a top 5. That's all I'm saying, bro. Yeah, he's only been in the league 2 or 3 years, man. 3 years. Come on, bro. What up, Raider Resistance? Y'all take what I say too far, man. That's why y'all be getting mad or getting whatever it is. But I ain't saying that he ain't no dog. I'm just saying he ain't top 5 right now.
What have your impressions been so far of Fernando Mendoza, and do you at all look forward to down the line lining up against him, competing against him, and is that at all, like, as the leader of the team, a job to really test him, to brace him for what's coming his way in the NFL?
Yeah, for sure. He's an awesome kid. You know what I mean? He's everyone knows his ability, what they've seen. Obviously, especially this past season in Indiana. I mean, it couldn't have been a greater year for an individual player at a college level, winning the Heisman, winning the Natty, not losing a game, having a game-winning touchdown in the national championship. Like, he checked every single box and some. But now, you come to the NFL and you're ground zero. And I think that's what is the most important thing when you're a young guy coming in the league, is realizing that is like, listen, you don't just come in and say, okay, now you just start where you left off in college. That's not the reality. You come here and you have to earn your respect all over again. And
Oh, no, Max. No, Max. No, Max. That ain't true. Because Raider Nation tells us that he's supposed to start game one because he was the number one draft pick, Max, and he better than Kirk Cousins. True. What are you talking about, Max? Max, you tripping. Max lying right there. Mm-mm. That ain't true, Max.
Oh God.
Build up trust within your teammates, your coaches, and the whole nine. So Fernando's been awesome. He's a great kid. He has great work ethic. You know, I had a lot of the young guys over at the house who watched Game 7, and Fernando, you know, was unfortunately behind me in a game of horse, and I destroyed him. So it was, you know, it got him out of there quick. So he's got to work on the jump shot, but ultimately he's a competitor, man, and he's learning and getting better every single day. So I'm really excited, you know, for what he's going to bring to this team, and you can already feel just his energy on a daily basis has been extremely consistent.
I know you're not on the field with them, but we're used to you bull talking throughout every practice, every rep, and everything else. Now Kirk's doing it on the offensive side. Are you looking forward to getting back on the floor where there's going to be that competitive?
Yeah, shout out to Hondo, man. To balance this question out for the Fernando question out. Listen closely, y'all. Here come more delusion. I hope y'all ready.
Absolutely. I miss it so much. You know what I mean? That's those are the little things that, you know, I feel like people don't really get to see. You know what I mean? People see it on Sundays and things like that, but like that competitive nature is every day for me. So whatever I'm doing, I want to go out there and establish my, you know, dominance and talk my mess and do what I do. And you know, I see Kirk talking a little bit to the defense, and I'm like, all right, I got something for you when we come back. But that's what you want. You know what I mean? If you have a, you know, one or two guys that are out there trying to, you know, be the big dog, like you're probably not going to be very good as a team. There's 53 guys on the roster. You know what I mean? We need a bunch of dogs and a bunch of guys that are going to not just bark at each other, but bite back. You know what I mean? And that's what Kirk has done. I mean, I was just walking down the hallway. They got like our TVs up and they show highlights, and we always have throwback games on in the building, and I'm walking by and it was showing a game of Kirk in Minnesota, and it said like 450 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ticker. And I was like, yeah, this dude Kirk has been doing it for a long time at a high level. So big shout out to my man Kirk. He's awesome, man. I really didn't know much about him. I probably met him one time before he got here. You know, people have jokes and think he's like this, you know, super uptight and like square. Like he's really one of the guys, and he bleeds. He just brings great energy all the time, and he's a competitor, man, and he's done it, and you know, made the type of money he's made and had the success he's had by, you know, being one of those guys. So I'm really looking forward to, you know, matching up with him and Mendoza and everybody. You know what I mean? I have that itch for sure, but.
Max, who's in everybody? You should in everybody. You could have said in AOC. That's less letters and everything. Why you didn't say AOC? What? In everybody. Or why you? Come on, man, Max. That's why they hate you.
I just have to, you know, stay calm, you know, during this process, and you know, we'll be back to going to war very soon.
This has been the longest rehab, but also the best rehab you've been through for the injury since you've been with the team. You know, with that being said, what's the biggest thing that you've learned about yourself or just learned about your body throughout the whole recovery process?
Yeah, honestly, just the whole offseason in general. You know, I've faced a ton of adversity. You know, there's been a lot of bullets flying in my direction. And truly it's, you know, you really figure out who you are in those type of moments. You know what I mean? And you know, everyone talks about, has a different quote about pressure makes diamonds and all these different things and sayings and things like that. But ultimately, it's real, and you could talk about it. And you could say, yeah, man, I can go through this adversity. I'll be fine if this happens to me. But when it's really going on, you figure out who you are, and you have a choice. You know what I mean? You can fold or you can respond. And I know myself, like I don't work to come back. I'm not working to just come back. Like I'm coming back better. And that's my mindset. And I know that, and I believe it. And I prepare and work like an animal daily. And I do it for my teammates. You know what I mean? Those guys see me. I want to show them that, you know, even if I'm not on the field, I'm on the bike going just as hard, getting in, you know, shape so I can be ready when I'm back out there with them. And trying to set that example and standard on a daily basis, man. This has been an amazing off season. There's been a lot. And the biggest pet peeve of mine is like people, you know, they see me and they're like, man, you good? And I'm like, shit, I've never been better. You know what I mean? Honestly, like, and I don't just say that, you know, because I could say that, you know what I mean? Just to say it. I truly mean it and believe it. And I know.
They think you lying, Max. They think you lying. But what you think about what he had to say about he's not just trying to come back, but he's trying to come back to be better. And before you answer that, I don't want y'all to think that I don't expect more out of Max. I don't even want y'all to think that I don't even expect 10 sacks out of Max. But the mere fact that a lot of people use just that standard, and I ain't talking about you particularly, Twine. I'm just talking about if he hits that standard, that doesn't make him necessarily a better player because he does that. So I do have better expectations for him. Now, he said he's coming back and he's coming back better. So how do you feel about that? And what does that expectation look like? Because I do want to make space for that because there is space for that.
Health is wealth, and right now he's focused on working and getting healthy. That's why I think, you know, we were trying to figure out how you know things were going with Max, and I think part of the reason why he got his jersey on and whatever is because he's, you know, he's still considered to be the face of this franchise. He's still considered to be the leader, you know what I'm saying, until further notice. So, you know, whether he's limping out there or whatever the situation may be with him, like he's trying to show these guys like, yeah, I may not be out there on the field, but you know, I'm putting in work and I want you guys to see that I'm putting in the work. So he's still trying to take that leadership role. And I think he will. And I think he'll continue to be the leader, you know, until, you know, something comes about it. But, you know, we know that the hopes is Mendoza becomes the leader. But I think there might be one side of the ball that's a leader, and then the other side might have a leader. And definitely it'd be Max on the defensive side.
Yo.
And I have great people around me. You know, my circle's never been tighter. You know what I mean? And, you know, I'll go to war with 2 to 3, you know, foxhole guys. I don't need 15 people with me. You know what I mean? I got the right people around me, truly. And it's extremely special. So yeah, man, it's been a great recovery process. You know, me and Rick Slate, my guy, we're together probably more than me and Rachel. And that's for sure. You know what I mean? That's my wife. And me and Rick are together every day, working, finding new ways to improve. And like I say, it's been better because I've been able to focus on other different things. You know what I mean? Whether that's being in the weight room, like I'm moving more weight than I ever have, and doing things in a different way and able to give my body, you know, probably the proper rest that it actually needs. I don't know. I know one speed. You know what I mean? I've only been on go for the last 20 something years, working my tail off. I know that. So this has allowed me, or it's forced me to have to take a step back in certain areas and not.
What you think about that? That's something that we were talking about, is Max being able to share snaps, and is he going to be able to lower his ego and allow other players to play? Or it sounds like he was forced in this position, like he said, because he made it a point to say that essentially the situation sat him in that situation, and now he can appreciate that. Would you agree, disagree? What you think?
Yeah, I think I don't think the door is fully open. I think the door is cracked on that, and you know, I think he's coming to the realization that, hey, I might need to, you know, get my rest, and it's not necessarily sleep, like, you know, rest also in snap count, you know. So we'll see how that goes. I hope we're being put in situations where Max doesn't have to be out there all the time. You know, I want him to be out there every third down, every pass, passing down. But that's also a part of the development. You got to let some of these guys behind you get some action too. Keyron Crawford needs to get some action, and you might need to get action off of you getting some rest. So, I think it helps us now, but it also helps us in the long run.
Totally agree. Bruce Willis says, I really hope he does come back better and healthy. He's a Raider, but everyone Raider is just a little different, and it's okay. For sure. And if you're a Raider fan and you feel some type of way in your chest when I be talking like this, that's because you must not have been an Oakland Raider fan. And even if you were an Oakland Raider fan, grew up in Oakland, the Coliseum parking lot, the Coliseum itself is like my second home. Like, sure. So that's why I'm a little more passionate about some things than others, but don't take it to heart like that. Because like I said, y'all get to acting like that, boy. I'm gonna be wondering what's going on, man.
If you're not a fan, what it do? Marshawn Lynch said, you. I'm a Raider.
It said Max starting to realize that he isn't the big fish in the small pond anymore. And I think that's a comment of the day right there. That he's realizing that because now, I think he invites that though. I think that's where his frustration lies, because why should he have to be the big fish all the time and then people are not appreciating the big fish? Like, we literally tried to put verse in front of him and saying that he's better than Maxx Crosby.
Oh, no.
I saw that in the chat. Come on, y'all. See, this is what I'm talking about. And it's not like we talking about somebody else's team. He on our team. Yeah, all gas, no brakes. We're going to have to hit the gas brake dip every now and then now, though.
I run 8,000 yards on the field every single day. I'm able to grind in a different way and able to, stay calm, especially, I was on crutches for 2 months. Like, somebody like me who I can't sit down is on crutches for 2 months. That alone is going to test you as a human being, and especially on top of all the other stuff. But it honestly, everything happens for a reason, man. I know I'm meant to be here for a reason. I believe that, and I'm so excited to be here, just in front of the fans, man. I can't wait to get out there and see the fan base and feel the fan base when we're back out. And week 1 versus Miami, it's going to be legendary.
It'll be legendary. Okay. I like it. I believe him. I think he wants to be here, even if he came to his senses after he got humbled. Even if that's the case, where he is right now is, I believe he wants to be a Raider, and he's a Raider. So I saw something about if we're not good about week 8, he's going to be asking for a trade, and I don't believe that either.
About the launch of your music career, how much having music actually helped you as an outlet?
Yeah. Well, we don't have to talk about his rap career, but just know that he was saying that it's a way that he, stay out of trouble. I can't understand. Like, we want him to not be in trouble. We want our players to find other vices than going out in a 24-hour town when you got millions of dollars in your pocket, where you can have all the fun you want any kind of way you want it. So for him to do rap, I'm cool with that. But my question is, who y'all think is better, him or Darren Waller? Who you think is better? Who you like better, him or Darren Waller?
No comment.
Oh, wow.
I haven't really listened to Max like that.
Oh, okay.
So I don't want to say anything. I did like there's one song that Darren Waller did, I think his last, well, not his last, but one of his bigger songs that he's done. I actually like that one though. But he needs an outlet. And people fail to forget that Maxx Crosby deals with addiction on a daily basis. He needs to have an escape. And it doesn't need to be escaping to drugs and alcohol. So he needs something for a release. And being with his wife is beautiful, his child is beautiful, you know what I'm saying? But he needs something for him. You know, there needs to be a time where he takes off the daddy hat. You know what I'm saying? Or takes off the husband hat. You know, I go fishing. Yeah. That's you know, I usually do it with my dad, but you know, that's my getaway from things. He needs that. So that's why I have a personal issue with certain people that have issues with people that, you know, these guys that are rapping. Like people were getting on Darren Waller and his rapping. It's like he was dealing with the same thing. He's dealing with addiction. What else was he supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? To get away from the stress of football and things. Remember, football's fun for us, but for them it's work.
Thanks.
They clock in like a 9 to 5 and they get a check. So what do you do when you get off work? You know what I'm saying? Like
that's a good point.
So yeah, let him rap, whether he's good or bad. You know what I'm saying? And let him have that. He can't.
Yeah, I agree.
He can't sack people going to the grocery store. You gotta have a life.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. The question Bruce Willis was who raps better, Darren Waller or Maxx Crosby? I'll put that in the chat. Oh, he said Waller. So I appreciate y'all for pulling up, man. Twine, you shout out the channel and your message. You know, I'm always appreciative of your message.
Yeah, Raider Twan on YouTube. Go and subscribe. You guys, a lot of you guys hang out with me, but you guys have not clicked that subscribe button. So please go over to Raider Twan, hit that subscribe button. Life is not promised. It's a gift. Whether you are enjoying life or like a lot of people, you know, that I've been around because of things that have gone around them is not so enjoyable. Prices have gone up. Things are not as affordable. Things can, you know, those things can be ways that can slide you into even a depression. But every time that you open your eyes, every time that you're able to breathe, every time you can move your feet, it's a blessing. Take a second and think about that person in the hospital that wish they had their feet. Think about that person in the hospital that wish they had the freedom to go out to a park, take a walk, get to hear the birds and look at the ducks and take your life as a gift. Because it is.
I'm a raider from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Recipes to Al Davis.